Okay, we're starting a new video here, something a little different. We're going to be doing some more sewing. So we have the fenders on the boat. They're not the prettiest thing in the world. They work, but we wanted to get fender covers. So I'm having fender covers made while I'm making them. But I had the inscription of the boat name put on there. They did a real nice job. You can actually see there's some raised thread on the edges. So they did a real nice job. Actually, it was kind of hard to find someone to sew into this boat blanket product, which we got from Sailrite. So I cut these out based on the measurements for the fender, and then I have some extra material here for the top of the fender, and then I will put a grommet on the top so we can run the rope through it. And so we will get started on this. So most of it's done. I just need to draw circles on here for the top, and I will probably do that off camera because I literally have no mount. I'm on my cell phone here. So I will do that off camera, but you get the idea. I'm going to draw circles. That's it. And I'll be back. Well, we're back, and what I need to do is I actually need to cut holes that are 10 inches in diameter. And the only thing I could find around here was this colander, which is exactly 10 inches across. So I will use this to mark the material before I cut it. So let me go do that. And I don't have a mount, so you're going to have to trust me. Well, let's see if I can show you how I'm doing this. So I'm using this device here. What this is a little wheel on here, which has chalk in here. Like loose chalk, so when you run it along the edge, it'll leave a mark. You can actually hear it. So you can actually see that's what it leaves, and then the dust will go away pretty quickly because it's literally just chalk dust. I do have other marking things here, grease pencils and such, but I do have a soapstone marker as well. But just using this because it's what I have. So I have the little ears here, so I need to rotate it to get the other part. So I'm going to do that. And that's our final product. So that looks good. It's just a hair over 10 inches, which is fine. Rather have it too big than too small. You can always cut material off. It's hard to put it back on. So let me do that 3 more times, and then we'll get going to cutting it out, and then putting the grommet in, and then sewing everything together. Okay, there we go. We have the material marked, and so I just need to cut this out, and then I'm going to put the grommet in the center on each of them because it'll be a little easier to do now than after it's assembled, and then we will sew it all together. Okay, we have them all cut out, and we're all set for the next step, which is to put the grommet in, and let's do that. Okay, we're back. So we're going to be putting the grommet in the top now. So what I need to do is find the center of each of these discs, and then I'm going to be using a large grommet here. These are 1/2 inch. These are spur grommets, so you can see the little spurs on them. And I do have the die set for this. I did purchase this just for this project, so I am kind of crazy. So believe it or not, this project's going to cost me more than if I just had these made. So, but I wanted to have a little project here. So I'm also going to be making the hole using a hole saw. Not a hole saw, but a hole bit on my drill. They do have tools that you can use to put a hole in there, but I have that. So on this one, I folded this in half twice and kind of got the center here, and I marked it with some white chalk so I know where the center is. And I will get going on doing this, putting the hole in here. Okay, so I marked the hole a little bit, the center of the hole a little bit better with another marking pencil so you can see it a little bit better. So it doesn't have to be critically centered, but it should be as close as possible. I marked the center, I taped it down, so hopefully we won't get much spinning. So let's make the little hole. we go. I'm using a rubber mat here, so I don't drill into my table. And you can see the material's gone, and we're good. Now we can do the grommet. So let's do that. Okay, we're gonna get ready to put the grommet into the top. I do have my die set here, and here's the grommet, the spur grommet, as I showed you earlier. And I'm gonna put this upside down on the material, so this part is up, because otherwise the seam from the grommet will be on the top, and I'd rather have a nice smooth surface on the top. I'd rather have that surface on the top. I have it on that side, so that's how the finished part is going to look. I'm going to put this on the die set base. I'm going to put the spur on top, and then I need to hammer this in, and I need 3 hands here, so I will do this off camera, but all I'm going to do is take my little sledge, hammer it down, and that'll make the grommet. Okay, we're back, so here it is, all done. There's the top, and there is the back. So you can see it has a seam there. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look that bad, so... but that looks, I think, a little bit better because it's finished. So I will do the rest of these, and then I will start sewing. Okay, so we're done with the grommets. I couldn't decide which way I liked the seam, so I did half with the seam up and half with the seam down, so that's how it came out. So now I will go to the machine and we will marry the top to the bottom. Okay, we're back. I'm going to be sewing the top to the main body here. So I got to remember to do the top side. We're sewing with the good sides facing each other because we're going to be sewing on the edge here. Here's my sewing machine. I have a Sailrite Fabricator. It's a really, really nice machine. So we're going to be sewing about a 1/2 inch from the edge. So let's get going. I'm hand holding my phone here, so I don't know how good this is going to come out. But let's do this. So we are using some Gore-Tex thread here, which is overkill for this, but I don't feel like feeding the machine with polyester. I have my little light here. So I'm going to sew in, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 inches from the edge. And I'm going to start sewing here and then moving it along. Again, I don't think I'm going to hold this very long, but I'll get you started. So lift up the foot of the machine. Set up a 1/2 inch. And I have this little guide here. It's a magnetic guide to keep the material at equidistance as I sew. So I'm going to put 1/2 inch in, and we will start sewing here. Now we're going to reverse it, put this little handle down. That'll lock the thread in place so it doesn't unravel. And I'll go pretty slow here. I don't like sewing circles. So I literally don't have a mount. I said 3 times already. So I'm going to put this down. Okay, so we're making progress here. So I have a few inches left. So what I need to do is I need to take this off the machine now and check the fit. And then we need to sew this edge, the 2 edges together, before we can finish up the rest here, just to get a nice perfect fit. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to take this off the machine and we will do a trial fit and figure out where the seam needs to go on the side. Okay, here we are. So I have this fender in. This is backwards. So I am going to mark here where the fender is. I'm going to make it a little loose because you don't want it too tight, especially once I inflate them. And then we can finish up doing the top. So it looks like it needs about 3/4 of an inch of a seam. So let's move my guide to about 3/4 of an inch. It was at 1/2 inch. I'll go 3/4 strong. And we will sew the edge, and then we will finish sewing the top, and then we'll work on the bottom. So I'm going to sew the first couple stitches, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Back stitch. And I need another hand to feed this, so I need to put you down. Okay, we're done sewing the top on. So it looks good. So let's turn this inside out, and then we can do the rest. Okay, I had to make a couple of adjustments to the sewing machine. I did that off camera, so I had to adjust the stitch length and the tension, but we got it done. Well, not done yet, but the top is sewn on. So that's what it looks like. There's the grommet. And I will test fit it in a little bit, but we need to sew the bottom on, and then we can put the drawstring in, and we will be done. And I will show you how to do that in a moment. Okay, the next part, I need to cut this leech line to the length. So I already kind of pre-measured it, so I'm going to be using a hot knife to cut the ends. And that'll seal the edge. How's the other end look? The other edge doesn't look so good, so I will heat that up as well. Done. Now before I put this down, I just gotta make sure that it's safe and it's not gonna burn anything. Let that cool off. So now we have, actually I need some more leech line. So we've got the leech line done. So now we need to make a pocket on the bottom of the Fender, and that's about it. So let me go do that. Okay, we're back. So we need to put a slit in the cover here, and we need to put the leech line through it, and then we need to fold this up so we can make a pocket for that, so then we can tension it later. So let's make a cut there. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have a knife, and I will make a little slit in there. Let's see if I can do this while holding. Okay, we're through. So let's feed the line through. Okay, we have the slit in there, and I have the leech line through. I have a nut on the other end so it doesn't pull through. So basically what we're going to be doing is folding this up with the line inside, going all the way around, putting another hole on the other side of the seam, and then we will finish up sewing, and then it'll be done. So let's go back to the machine. Okay, we're back at the machine. So I have the machine set exactly where I want it. The leech line I can feel is right here. And we're going to be sewing around the circumference and keep the leech line inside the little pocket. And then once we finish the other side, we will put another hole, bring out the leech line, and we will be done. So I'm going to do this off camera because I can't hold it. I'm just about done. I put the other hole in, and I brought the leech line through, and I'm still holding the line up against the crease here. So I'm just going to finish sewing. Kind of hard to hold the camera and sew. But that's about it. Let me finish sewing this, and we will test fit it. Okay, we're done. So that's how it looks. So let's undo this. Let's pull the leech line through. Yeah, I pulled it through, so it's nice and even now. So let's go do a test fit. I do have some rope here. Let's try some rope as well. Get some blue rope. Okay, so let's feed it through. There we go. Tie this in a knot because it's way too much. I'm not going to cut it. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Let's feed this through. Trying to find the hole. there it is. Let's go through. So it looks like a perfect fit. It's nice and tight without being too tight. Let's pull it down, out of the way. That's that. Here's the bottom. And here's my little line here, so let's tighten this up. I'll just put a square knot in here for now. I'll leave a little slip knot. This is just a test fit. And there you go. That's the finished product. Totally done. Almost looks like I know what I'm doing. Okay, we're actually all done. So I followed the same procedure on the other three, and they all are done. So I'm thrilled with the way they came out. They look real professional. And the only problem is these are going to live in the bilge, so God knows how dirty they're going to get. But they're done, they look nice, and that was a fun project. So thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.